Good morning. It's February the 18th, Era Vulgaris 2011. I used to call myself an addict. It was kind of a badge of courage at one time. It was a label that helped me identify with other people that I mistakenly thought were experiencing the same struggle. Now I know that I had recovered from the behavioral set of problems we call addiction many years ago. I stopped using all forms of drugs, including alcohol, which is a drug, a little over 24 years ago. I did it by an act of will. There was no divine intervention, since there is no divinity except the divinity which man creates. Nobody intervened to help me. In the end, I had to take action and help myself, and I did. And I'm very proud of that, and I feel very empowered in having done that. I had used drugs of many different types for about 20 years up to that point. That was in 1987. And my whole life had become one big mess. And let me say this, that was all of my own doing. The course of events were just the typical course of human events that we experience in life anyway. Now, I'm going to move around and stuff. This is, really not a professional quality video. This is a home video, so I'll move around a little bit while I'm talking with you here. Anyway, I got clean. I went to a treatment center. That helped get me away from my friends who were using, and that was really the big deal, was staying away from people who used long enough for the cravings and desires involving using to go away. It was at that time in that treatment center that I wrote their version of a, quote, first step, unquote. What that helped me see is that I had allowed chemicals and my obsession and compulsion with them to control my life instead of taking control and directing my own life more efficiently. Now, I had controlled and directed my life with pretty good success off and on up to that point, but I always had too many highs and lows. I had very low lows and some high highs, not enough high highs and very low lows. So anyway, I got past the point of the cravings and have been able to stay clean ever since. And I've stayed clean by my own will. I worked all these different approaches that come through the 12 steps. I wrote the steps on paper, shared them with a sponsor many times. And it seemed like I got progress, and the progress I got just came from deciding to do what the most reasonable thing was. Spirituality, that whole approach to addiction is, I think, very injurious and not a good approach. I don't think spirituality is the answer. I think that it can help people as a personal asset, but it's not a personal asset that helped me. It was something that confused the issue because I did not agree with the bent of the 12 steps. The 12 steps came from the 6 steps of the Oxford group, and that is a form of Christianity. A lot of Christians will argue that it doesn't resemble their form of Christianity, and it doesn't, but it still is a form of Christianity. It's a lay version of Christianity, which in my opinion is all Christianity anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Catholic, Mormon, Presbyterian, Methodist, whatever, Coptic, it's all the same thing. Okay, so Christianity was a religion that failed for me and continues to remain as a mythical lump of shit. And I'm anti-Christian. I'm anti-Judaism. I am anti-Islam. I am anti-religion. And I don't mean that in a militant, take up arms sense of the word. I mean that in a humane sense, that all these religions have basically hurt humanity. They've caused people to kill each other. They've caused war, conflict, unnecessary disagreement. And they really, in the end, are not humane. So in that context, philosophically and practically, I maintain an anti-religious view. And I just don't stand for that kind of nonsense in my life. When I get around religious people, unless they're innocuous and they don't talk about what they believe, I get the hell away from them. I don't want that type of belief system in my life. This is the reason that I left the Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous as a mainstream organization, meaning I don't go to the regular meetings of Narcotics Anonymous, and haven't for quite some time now, for over a year. And the reason why is I realized that I was experiencing some frustration, and that no matter how much I let go or how much I surrendered, I just had no acceptance of people that have a cultist view, a cultist set of beliefs based in the religiosity of the 12-step program in general. In other words, that Oxford group bent. And I finally decided, to my own benefit, that I no longer wanted to poison my reality with that nonsense. So I no longer attend those meetings. Furthermore, I no longer serve in a trusted servant capacity to Narcotics Anonymous. I did for 23 years. I gained a lot of skills in leadership and administrative capacities from doing that. I had fun working with other people, but in the end, I found that it was all a waste of my energy, that I can do other things that bring me more benefit and bring others whom I care about, that I surround myself with, who have mutual purpose. So I'm no longer of service in any capacity to Narcotics Anonymous. In my view and my experience, overall, it's a wasted effort. And people can say what they may, they can argue this, but this is my experience, and I have no desire to help what I think is a failed effort, in so much as I've left companies I've worked for because they were a failed effort, in so much as I've left relationships that I have chose to be in because they were a failed effort. So Narcotics Anonymous, while it has its merits, overall, in my experience, is a failed effort. People get angry when you tell them things like this. People get upset from that Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous, or AA is even worse. People get real upset when you tell them that basically what you've seen is bullshit, and you don't like the behavior, you don't like the thought-stopping behavior, you don't like the speech patterns of the members there, you don't like how people are not really furthering their lives for the most part. In fact, over the years, we found a lot of people who had left Narcotics Anonymous and gone on to have very happy, productive lives and never used again. And they didn't need it anymore. So there is a point where this particular program, all 12-step programs, can, in the individual who is self-actualizing, get outgrown. So I, like so many others, outgrew Narcotics Anonymous and all other 12-step programs. So while I do have gratitude for some of the things that I gained there, overall, it's a losing effort to continue there in the capacity that I once was. There's a lot of harmful things that happen there. The websites that deal with that, like morerevealed.com and orange-papers.com, they deal with that very well. So I would suggest that if you're interested in pursuing the other side of the coin on these issues, that you go there and read what these people have put together and collected from many, many different resources. There's a growing movement away from 12-step programs. People are finding that there's other effective means. The big thing that really hurts people has to do with the erroneous belief that this is a disease. It's not a disease. It's a set of behavioral problems that can get overcome. Actually overcome quite easily. And that can stay overcome. And that one can gain empowerment over. And that's what's happened. Not powerless, empowered. And that's what's happened. The 12-step program doesn't have enough efficacy to have validity. It's like a funny little club. And if you like it because it serves your needs on a social level, so be it. That's what I found, was that it hindered me on a social level. When I found myself around most of that social context, it was not productive. It was very unproductive. So I got most of my valuable social contexts in other groups and with other sets of people I had met elsewhere. So basically, what I have to say is thanks, guys, but no thanks anymore. I appreciate what I got good from you guys, which was support. I got a lot of support from you guys and friendship, and those things are invaluable, and I won't deny or I will not downplay the value there in my life. I love you guys. You guys have done well by me, except when you start spewing out this ridiculous 12-step cult talk. And I just no longer care to hear that anymore. So I don't listen to it, and I don't hang out with you guys because of that. So if you want to know why I'm not around, that's why. A group of us have gotten together. We support each other in what I think is a much more healthy way. It works. We've had people who were newly clean, who couldn't get clean before, who now have empowered themselves, gotten clean, given themselves the power to get clean and stay clean. And this is what's important. And I just want to express my gratitude to myself and those who have supported me for 24 years of 24 hours a day. And it isn't one day at a time, really. It's been weeks, months, years at a time now. And I did it. And I did it with a little help from my friends. And that's the basic premise of complete recovery. There's not ongoing recovery, there's complete recovery. And those of you who have stopped, I would like to tell you that you have completely recovered. Grab a hold of that, empower yourself, as I've empowered myself and many others have. We are completely recovered, and we don't need ongoing recovery. We don't need spirituality. We don't need any of that. And we can have rich, very full lives without cultist thinking and mentality.